Good evening, Morale High staff, family, friends, special guests, and of course, my fellow graduates. Welcome, and thank you all for joining us in celebrating our graduation night. C.S. Lewis once posed the question, isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back everything is different? Well, it wasn't that long ago that we entered the brick walls of MRHS on our first day of being minor niners. We sat on those very bleachers in two distinct groups. The Morale Consolidated students on one side and the Mount Stewart students on the other. Neither group had any intention on interacting with the other. I don't remember the exact moment that things changed, but as the first few days dragged on, we began moving out of our comfort zones and realizing that we all had something unique to bring to our small class. Now, we sit in the same gymnasium 4 short years later. We are no longer classified into two distinct groups. Instead, we are one. Some may say we are a unique or special bunch, but nonetheless, we are unified. We are the class of 2016. Thinking back to that first day of school, I remember Mr. Crawford's infamous welcome speech that left me and my fellow classmates shaking in our seats. It was then that I started wondering what I had gotten myself into and started mentally calculating how many days I had left until I graduated and was able to leave this place. Now, here I am standing on the stage just a few short minutes before receiving my diploma, and I am left wondering where the time has gone and how it has managed to slip by so quickly. When I think about each of the 4 years at MRHS, I can split them into different categories. Grade 9 was the year of survival. We were at the bottom of the food chain. We spent our days trying to remember locker combinations, staying out of everyone's way, making sure to sit at the right cafeteria table, and looking longingly at the grade 12s of the lean, dreaming of the day when we would eventually be cool and powerful enough to be allowed to lean as well. It was the year of embarrassment and the year of starting to figure out who we were. Grade 10 was the year of starting to choose our path and the start of leaving our mark. We had some freedom in picking our classes, started joining extracurriculars such as student council, SAVE, and senior sports teams. Looking back on it, some would also say it was a year for us to rest up because none of us knew how busy our lives were about to become for the next 2 years. Grade 11 was the year that opened our eyes. It was a year of both success and failure, and it was the year of resilience. We had the freedom of picking all of our classes, but were shocked when some of us received the workload of physics, chemistry, biology, and Math B all in one semester. We were sometimes rewarded for our hard work, but other times faced with failed tests and a try harder next time. We took our successes and failures and learned from them, growing as both a student and as a person. Before we knew it, we were at the end of the year and were now prized with finally being the top dogs of Morale Regional High. This brings me to grade 12. It has been the year of dreaded questions, both from others and from ourselves. We've been pelted numerous times with, what are your plans? What are you doing next year? And what are you going to do with your life? Although I don't know if all of us have come up with a direct way of answering these questions, I do know that we have become experts at trying to dodge them. Grade 12 has also been the year of fun. We have spent time together as a class participating in events such as pep rallies, school dances, the 12 days of Christmas, curling, bowling, prom, and Chem Free. These have been some of the last moments we have all together as a class, and I am happy that I have gotten to share these times with you. Now here we are, perhaps the last time where we will all be together. Aristotle once said, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. The staff at MRHS have done an incredible job in making sure that our education went beyond our minds and went out of their way time and time again to give us the best opportunities and lessons that we have had to date. Thank you to Mr. Crawford and Miss Minnis for always keeping the school running smoothly. Even though sometimes it felt like the two of you were playing a game of good cop, bad cop, we always knew that we could go to you with any questions or concerns that we may have had. Thank you to Mrs. Compton for trying to teach us that exponential functions can actually be enjoyable to sketch. I still don't fully understand the concept of how the letter E can be considered a number, but hey, I do know that it is equal to 2.71828. Thank you to Mr. Coffin for teaching us how to help others and how to make the world a better place. Also, thank you for teaching me how to stop saying the word like. I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you to Miss McGee for teaching us all about cells, showing us how to cut open dead animals to see their organs the proper way, and for always being someone to talk to. Thank you to our coaches, especially Mr. Reed, for always supporting and encouraging us during sports, even with our small numbers. We have put our heart into every game, and we have been able to bring back some medals thanks to your support and encouragement. Thank you to Rose and Janet in the cafeteria for constantly supplying the school with your addicting cookies. I don't know what you put in them, but I do know that I'm hooked and will probably show up next year just for one. Thank you to Robbie, Paul, and Mark for constantly cleaning up our spills and messes and making sure that the school always looks nice. For every other teacher I didn't personally mention, a big thank you goes to all of you. Thank you for everything that you have done to help us walk across this stage tonight and for giving us memories and lessons to look back on in our years to come. To our parents and guardians, thank you for always supporting us. You've helped us in more ways than we can count. You've helped us with our homework, driven us around before we got our licenses, given us countless pieces of advice, listened to our complaints, and were always supporting us during every step of the way. You made sure we made it to school and attended all our plays, band concerts, and sporting events. We wouldn't be sitting in these chairs tonight if it wasn't for your loving guidance. To my fellow graduates, an anonymous quote reads, "Life is short. If there is ever a moment to follow your passion and do something that matters to you, that moment is now." I encourage all of you to go out and find your passion. Follow your passions and your dreams because I know that every single one of you can succeed in whatever path you choose to follow. Never give up, always dream, and always stay passionate about something you love. Congratulations, we did it.